Hi everyone, this is FlashCartReviews.com, and today I'll be reviewing the M3i Zero. The M3i Zero is one of the probably best cartridges on the market right now for the DSi. It's easily my favorite. Highly anticipated. It's got tons of features and it's got a great team supporting it. So just to start off, we've got a USB cord. This USB cord is used to flash your M3i Zero. I'll show you that later in a bit. You've also got a micro SD reader. This looks like the SanDisk Mobile Mate, but don't be confused. It is not nearly as good and does not achieve the same speeds. You've also got a little plastic case for the M3i Zero, and I've actually got the M3i Zero in here. M3i Zero, and it goes in there, and you got a little space for your micro SD if you want to carry one around over there too. So, just to quickly go over the build quality, I think you guys can see it on the video, but it's got a little lump right in the middle, good square. Doesn't affect going into the DSi too much, but you know, some people are just concerned about it. And the micro SD is spring loaded, and side loaded. So it goes into the side like this. Of course, it takes micro SD HC, so it can go up to 32 gigabytes, I believe. Now let's pop it in the DSi and check it out. One thing I want to add before we get into the review is that, as you may have noticed, there was no firmware and no instructions that came with the M3i Zero. Now, I'm not sure if in the future the M3i team will include firmware and stuff, but for me, I didn't get any of that. So what I actually needed to do was download the firmware, load it onto a micro SD, put it into the M3i Zero, and flash it right away before even using it. Now, to flash it, you need to take this USB cord, take the tiny little strip, and plug it into the opposite side of the micro SD on your M3i. So I plug it in like this, and there are more detailed pictures on my website, flashcartreviews.com. Plug it in like this, and stick it into my laptop. Now, I'm not actually going to do it because it's going to reflash everything again, but if you plug into a laptop, on the back you'll see a shining red light. It'll blink at you, and blinking means it's working. As soon as it stops blinking, you can pull it out and you're good to go. So here's the M3 booting up and just finished, and here's the main menu. The main menu here, we have a file browser on the bottom, and we got some basic control options on the top. We can use the control pad to navigate around, or we can use a touchscreen. And it also has a, what do you call them, screensaver when you're not using my M3. So it's got a homebrew, I've got a homebrew folder, I've got an NDS folder, and a system folder. Obviously, the system folder contains all the files needed to run the M3i, and here are my game and my homebrew folders. Now, Moonshell 2 is exactly the same as M3. M3 is actually based off, M3 Sakura is actually based off of Moonshell 2. But that's a totally different story. Point is, with the M3 Sakura firmware, you can actually run videos, text files, and pictures straight off of the firmware, which is very nice. I'm going to go into that a little later. For now, I'm going to look at the homebrew and NDS folders. I have some homebrew applications up here. I got Be Up Live, which is basically MSN chat for the DSi, or the DS. And I got NDS Mail, which is basically a mail client. It can check your, Gmail and stuff like that for you. Both of these run perfectly fine, actually, and that's really nice to see, since some of the DSi flash carts don't manage to run homebrew that well. I actually tested a bunch more homebrew other than these two, and I just don't have them on this micro SD right now. However, I tried other things that are popular, like DS Reader and the real Moonshell 2, and both of them work just fine. So here I'm in the NDS folder, and I just got two games here, one of them Scrabble. So let's test it out. You can just press A to load the game, which will look like this. It's creating a save file since I'm running it for the first time. Now loading. And done. Here it is, running. However, you can also go to a more advanced menu for additional options by pressing X when you're on top of the ROM. I'll show you in a second as soon as this boots up again. So let's press X, And check this out. We've got a bunch of new options. Select cheat file and select cheats. So you can specify a cheat file if you have specific cheats that you want to activate, or you can activate cheats from the cheat database, which just has a bunch of games and a bunch of cheats for every game that's out there, pretty much. You got NDS and GBA link. This is used for if you want to link the NDS game to the Game Boy Advance slot. Of course, this only works with the DS Lite or the DS Fats. And this is used if you want to link your Pokemon and exchange them from one to another. And of course, we got real-time save backing up. Real-time save backup is basically, well, backing up your real-time saves. As you may or may not know, real-time save allows you to save at any point in the game, at any instance. So even in the middle of a Pokemon battle, you could theoretically save. You have to keep in mind that this isn't perfect and isn't 100% compatible, but it's really, really nice feature. And with RTS backup, you can make a bunch of those, and basically, you can have a bunch of instances where you're saved. And if you ever wanted to go back and play a specific part of the game, you could just load one of these real-time save files. We also got cheats on or off, soft reset, which will bring you back to the beginning of the game, or it'll bring you back to the M3i Sakura menu, or you can enable real-time save. Both of them cannot be enabled at the same time. And at the bottom we got play mode, standard, or download play. Download play, as you probably know, allows you to basically share your game over Wi-Fi with someone else with a DS. And you should enable this if you want to use download play on your M3. So you can activate that stuff and it'll kick in. I haven't had any problems with it. Real-time save works great. One of the things I wanted to cover was actually how the M3i Sakura plays music. I hadn't played with Moonshell 2 too much, so I didn't know much about it. But the way that the M3 Sakura plays music and has it always playing while you can navigate the files of your micro SD is really nice. See, all you need to do is press the left button and press the left arrow, and it'll bring up this mini menu over here where you can stop music, play music, next track or previous track, and change the mode it plays in to loop or to shuffle or whatever. What I think is really nice is you can actually be navigating the files of your M3 and it'll keep playing music in the background. Now, just to show you guys what I mean, I just added some music to my DS, and let's run a song. So while the song's running in the background, I can be navigating my folders, looking at my ROMs, and I can press L and left, pull up the main menu, and change the song. I think that's awesome. I mean, you can't even do that on an iPod, while you're, well, I guess you can play next song, yeah, you can. But anyway, it's really nice to be able to do that on a DSi. And another really nice thing is they added the shortcuts, so you can close your DS. It'll be still playing music through the headset plug, and you can just use these buttons as shortcuts. Like you can go to next song by using the L and R button, or you can pause your music. And just different combinations will do different things. So really convenient to do, and it even shows your music information up there. The last thing I want to show you guys is playing movies. As some of you may know, Moonshell 2, which the M3i Sakura is based off of, renders movies much better than they did before. So, I just converted a video, and you can see it's playing right here. You got some controls. You can skip through the video in the middle of the timeline. You can pause, next, play, change the volume, all that. The video renders immediately, so it's really nice, really high quality, and overall, watching movies is awesome on the DS actually, except for having to convert it to the right file format. Again, this is flashcartreviews.com. I want to give a huge thanks to GameByGame.com for sponsoring my website. Be sure to check out GameByGame.com if you're interested in buying an M3i Zero. And check out my website, and feel free to leave any questions or comments. Thank you.